Our story today is really similar to the other ones we've heard this month. See, when Jesus wanted to teach a lesson, sometimes he told made-up stories to prove his point. They are called parables, and today's story is just like that. Jesus had a lot of close friends when he lived on earth, and one of those friends was named Peter. Peter came to Jesus with a question, and guess what? We have the question written down for us in our Bible. Let's take a look at Matthew 18:21. Peter came to Jesus. He asked, "Lord, how many times should I forgive my brother or sister who has sinned against me? 7 times?" Jesus responded and told Peter, not 7 times, but 77 times. Then Jesus went on to tell Peter a story. Jesus wanted Peter to understand what he meant. Jesus always had a great story ready to explain what it meant to follow him. And this one was a great story. The story Jesus told involved 3 people, a king, his servant, and another servant. Watch this.
There once was a king who lived in a glorious palace. One afternoon, he called for his bookkeeper. The bookkeeper flipped through his notes and informed the king there was one servant who hadn't paid everything in full like he thought. He reminded the king just how much he had lent to the servant.
Approximately 10,000 bags of gold.
In today's money, that would be millions of dollars. The king cried, "Bring me the servant!" The king called for Frederick to come before him. Frederick smiled uneasily and bowed low. "Servant," the king said, "it appears you owe me quite a lot of money." Frederick squirmed while racking his brain for an answer.
Well, you see, the thing is, I can't exactly pay it back at the moment.
Guards, sell everything this man owns. Then hire him and his family to work out the rest of their lives until he can pay me what he owes.
The guards closed in on Frederick, and he fell to his knees and pleaded with the angry king.
No, please, give me time. I'll pay everything back. I promise. I'll pay back every dime, every last dime.
The king nodded to the guards, who backed off. The king looked at the trembling servant.
"All right then. You don't have to pay right now."
Frederick looked up in amazement.
What?
The king took a deep breath and smiled. "In fact, you don't have to pay ever. You can go." Frederick leapt to his feet and did his happy dance all the way out of the palace. But on his way back down the long road home, he came across another servant, Sebastian. Frederick approached the humble servant, remembering that Sebastian owed him some money.
"Don't you owe me some money?"
asked Frederick.
Oh, money? Well, yes, a couple $100, I believe. But I don't have the money to pay right now. Just give me a little time and I will have it next week.
Frederick was livid. He ignored Sebastian's plea and had him thrown in prison until he could pay. Now Frederick had made such a fuss that the other servants of the king saw what happened. They went and told the king. The king exclaimed,
"Bring Frederick to me right now!"
Frederick arrived, still pleased with himself for showing Sebastian who was boss. Yet he was also very confused as to why he was back in the king's court.
To what do I owe this second appearance before your majesty?
"You lack of mercy, you evil servant! I forgave all that you owed me because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on the other servant, just as I had mercy on you?"
Frederick was speechless. He knew what was coming next. King called for his guards.
"Guards, throw this man in prison. Punish him until he pays back every cent he owes."
Now remember, Jesus told the story to Peter for a reason. When he finished up the story, check out what he said to Peter and the rest of his disciples. "This is how my Father in heaven will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother and your sister from your heart." Jesus' meaning was clear. God has forgiven us so much that he wants us to forgive others in the same way, even if we have to forgive over and over and over. If we want our King God to forgive us, then we should forgive each other. Not just one time, but over and over and over again. Now, that doesn't mean we have to be friends with someone who is mean to us, but we can let go of our hurt and anger by asking God to help us. Forgive that person. It's like our bottom line for today. Since God forgave you, you should forgive others. Let's say that together. Since God forgave you, you should forgive others. Now, just because we know we should forgive others, it doesn't mean it's easy to do, but God can give you the strength you need to forgive.
Our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, rule be done forever, ever. Amen.